welcome you, our viewers, another chance. Once more, this is Reverend George Kamanu, the senior pastor of Word of Faith Church Loilo, as well as the principal of Word of Faith Community College. We are continuing with our leadership series, where we learn about leader and leadership, because there's something that we know, and these words were spoken by John Maxwell, that everything rises and falls on leadership. So everything that is allowed our lives, it will continue, or it may fail to continue because of the quality of leaders. And in the last episode, we said that God is a leader, and God created the world through leadership, and therefore God also created man to be a leader, so that man could be able to continue with what God has started. And today we want to continue with from where we reached. And today I want to tell you this, that when God told man to have dominion, God gave man the dominion mandate. Remember, we said that from Genesis 1, verse 28. So when God told man to have dominion, he was telling man who he is. I always tell leaders that you can't give what you don't have. Therefore, my desire is that you have it, so that you can be able to give it. And I'll say again, when God told man to have dominion mandate, and we say that dominion mandate was given to both the male and the female, he was telling man who he was. Man, that is both the male and the female, is a leader. And they were given the assignment to cultivate the earth, to continue with what God has already started. And I want to tell you today, add something else. Since God's purpose for man was leadership, he designed the man and the woman with the inbuilt potential and ability to be leaders. And we said that last time, and it's good for us to add emphasis today. And I'll say again, since God's purpose for man, both the male and the female, was leadership, then God designed the man and the woman with the inbuilt potential and ability to be leaders. And therefore, the leadership spirit in every man, every female, as we said, and we continue to say again, is a leader. However, the way God so created that they execute the dominion mandate is different. In other words, women exercise what you call influence power. And I know as we continue with the series, we are going to explain much about that. But women were created by God to exercise influence power, but men, or the males, were created to exercise possession power. And I want to repeat that again. Women exercise influence power, but males or men exercise possession power. But both of these powers are complementary to each other. God did not create the male and the female to compete. He created them to complement one another, so that as they complement one another, they can be able to fulfill the dominion mandate. That means this: males alone cannot fulfill the dominion mandate. The females alone cannot fulfill the dominion mandate. They need both of them, every one of them, to do their part. The males will do their part, the females will do their part, and then together they complement one another. And as they do that, they fulfill the dominion mandate. I want to tell you this, that because the leadership ability in man, that is both the male and the female, is needed, then we need to realize a few things that I'll tell you today. Number one is that they need to discover the potential that God has put in them. They need to discover that leadership potential that it is in them. It's good for me to remind you this, that if you don't know about something, you cannot appreciate it. And if you can't appreciate it, you cannot develop it. So it is the responsibility of the male and the female to discover the inbuilt leadership potential that is in each one of them. And once they discover it, then number two, they need to develop it. They must be able to work it out. They must nurture it. They must invest in it. They must cultivate it. I'm saying they must be able to ensure they start it up. And this is like what Paul was telling Timothy. There is a deposit that is already in you, my son Timothy, but you have a responsibility to start it up. And then number three, they must deploy that potential. They must expose it. They must give it a chance to be able to manifest. And I'll say again 3 things. Because the potential is already in us. The potential, leadership potential in both the male and the female, it is not our creation, but our discovery. And I'll say that again. How God has created us, because God is a leader and he wanted his creation to be continued through leadership. And he has given man that chance, and that chance comes with the potential to help fulfill it. Therefore, it is not our creation, it is our discovery. It is our responsibility to discover what God has put in us, that inbuilt leadership potential in us. Number 2, once we discover it, we must develop it. We must be able to work it out. We must stir it up. We must be able to nurture it. It is our work to cultivate it so that it can be able to grow and become what God has ordained it to become. And then number 3, it must be exposed. We must ensure we give it a chance to manifest. And this is what even we are encouraging even leaders in our churches, so that they realize that in both the male and the female, there is leadership potential, so that you can even be able to give our women a chance to release their leadership potential. In many of the churches, especially in the latter years, is that you realize women were not given a chance because the men that were there did not realize there is leadership potential in women. And men alone cannot be able to fulfill it. Women alone cannot fulfill the dominion mandate. It is a mandate that is given to everyone, to all of them rather, so that they work together complementarily to help one another. And I want to repeat this again so that even as you go through your assignment today, I want you to remember this. There is inbuilt leadership potential in each one of us. As you continue your assignment, whether it is in the corporate world, whether it is in the ministry, in every area of your life, realize this. The inbuilt leadership potential is meant to help you fulfill the mandate of God for your life. Number 2 is that once we discover it, we need to develop it, we need to deploy it. We need to ensure that it is working. It is active. You are doing something with your potential. The truth is, potential must be given responsibility to release its possibilities. And I want to say that again, that potential is already there. There is inbuilt potential in each one of us, and especially leadership potential, but that potential must be given responsibility. We must be able to, once we discover it, we develop it, we deploy it. Once we give it responsibility, it will release all its possibilities. And I want to challenge each one of you listening to me this morning. May you continue to challenge the potential in you and give it responsibility. And you are going to realize the possibilities that are there. And you become a blessing to all that are allowed you and fulfill the mandate of God for your life. May God bless you. Shalom, shalom. You are a leader. Exercise the potential in you.